Just hit the record button, so we might be recording.
It records internally as well.
It literally won't fit over my fucking
You
hood.
got Be smarter than the tech, Tom.
I was pulling on it. It wasn't doing it.
Hey. Don't need to know what you're pulling on and whatnot.
Pulling on your mic.
Hey.
Oh.
All right, Tom, what are we here doing today?
Totaling another Jeep. No, it's not that bad.
So I recently got my hands on a free Land Rover, as most of you know, and my ADHD took over, and I immediately wanted to sell this and fully build the Land Rover.
Yeah, the Land Rover was supposed to be on the lift today, not this.
Right, we're gonna put the Land Rover on lift and needle scale the frame and see how bad the rust was. There's a spot of rust like right here on it after the suspension before the hitch mount. But I had a buddy that really wants to buy it, and this thing, even though it's a Jeep, it has a lot done to it.
Yeah.
And it works really well.
Yeah.
We've done a bunch of rallies in it. We just did one, and somehow me and Trevor got first place in team time, which I don't really know how we did that, but we were cruising. So it's been a really good Jeep, and somehow it's my most reliable vehicle.
It's funny how that happens.
So I'm gonna sell the Land Rover. Not for much, and I don't have much in it, but Trent that's buying it wants to do rallies with it. So trying to give him an opportunity to get into them and do all those with it. So we're here checking out the Jeep and seeing what's all wrong with it. Tom,
It's a Jeep.
what all do you think is wrong with it?
Besides maintenance stuff, I think you just need shocks and a sway bar.
Yeah, because it's super floaty going down the road, so I'm trying to address that a little bit. And I know it's a Jeep on long arm suspension.
We can pull one of these and actually like check it.
Yeah, so we're gonna
I don't think
check travel. The rear shocks are way too long.
These don't have a fill port.
And probably gonna do some shocks. Maybe replace the front sway bar. It has a
That's an old anti-rock.
it's an old anti-rock, and they work good, but they're soft. And Tom mentioned something about just putting a regular sway bar back on it. So
There's a bunch of different versions like that. Like Sway Lock makes one that is disconnectable.
yeah, I'd rather have sway bar disconnects because an anti-rock is just more built for someone who wants it on all the time and doesn't need to deal with it. But I like disconnects a little bit more because you have a little bit better on-road drivability.
Yep.
Which we do a lot of, and especially with these rallies, we're back and forth on and off
I
road.
leave my sway bars connected for the rallies.
Right, because the rallies we're not flexing out a lot.
Yeah.
We're just
Be the one nice thing about like a Rubicon, being able to turn it on and off.
that would be nice.
Yeah.
But so we're gonna put the Land Rover up here today, and then I texted him yesterday. I was like, "Hey, I'm having cold feet." He's like, "Well, bring the Jeep down. We'll put it on the lift." So we're gonna try and record some stuff and talk about things and see what we see. And
Yeah.
the Jeep does work great.
That's the problem with them. Like as much as you hate them, they're
know.
good.
Well,
They
it's like
always work.
the ADHD side of me was like, "Ooh, new Land Rover,
Yeah.
different."
Been there, done that.
Yeah, and it's like I don't want to be a sheep and drive a Jeep, but they just work.
See, honestly, your only problem right now is the fact that you're limiting yourself to how many vehicles you can have.
That's mostly because of my wife, but I've adopted it, and it's a good feeling.
Is it?
Yes.
Is it? Because I got a lot of space in my driveway.
I know, but it sucks because like I just worked on the BMW a little bit yesterday because a broken axle shaft.
Yeah.
So I finally got the axle shaft replaced, and it's like, dang, what if I had more vehicles that needed fixed?
You know what you could do? You could always build the Yukon, your Suburban, your other Suburban.
I would build my Suburban. Well, you mentioned the other day, you're like, don't sell the Jeep, keep the Jeep as the wheeler, and then Suburban Overlander.
Yeah.
And I like that idea.
That's what that's been
You said
plan.
you're doing it with your Cherokee.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because we've worked on just about everything. We've wheeled with people who have everything. I have a lot of seat time in a lot of different vehicles, and Wranglers always work.
Tim
the
always
best.
says that they're just a Swiss Army knife,
Yeah.
and I'll wholeheartedly agree with them.
And
They're-
like when they're set up right, they're so good. Yeah,
Right.
it
This
takes
one's pretty close to being set up right.
It's just tired. It's not that
It's got a
there's
lot
nothing
of
wrong
old
with it. It's just
10,
tired.
12, 13-year-old parts.
Yeah.
And I bought this thing pretty much built, but I've pretty much gone through and either fixed or replaced half of it.
Yeah.
When I got it, the rear springs were very old and tired, and then it had spacers up here on the front and the rear. So Tom talked me into rock crawlers. So we have a 4.5 inch in the rear and a 3 inch in the front, and they work great. They feel good. They drive good.
Just need shocks.
But now it's just the Jeep's super floaty, and gonna try some shocks and
Yeah, I gotta figure out what sway bar would work with this relocation.
yeah, because my shocks are relocated up here, and where the sway bar goes, it will not work.
Yeah.
So they're relocated on the bottom and the top. So I don't know if getting rid of that bottom bracket and then keeping the top bracket in a better shock would help.
This is the wildest upper control arm I've ever seen.
Yeah,
I literally was like, oh my God, that's bananaed. And then I was like, oh wait, the other side's just
this.
as bad.
I think this one has a bad bushing though.
It may also be bent looking at the top. Like look at like the top arm.
Maybe.
Because like that one's nice and parallel in the bracket. That one's,
I think that bushing's shot though, because is there a pry bar laying around here?
I mean, most of your, what?
Is there a pry bar laying around here?
Probably in my box. Most of your bushings are definitely shot.
Easy.
I don't need a pry bar to see that.
But we had greased these before the rally.
Oh yeah, hey, look at that. Yeah, it's got a lot of side to side in it.
And then I think the other one's good. And I ordered bushings before the rally, and I ordered the wrong ones. I ordered them for the lower arms.
Yeah.
This is an old Terraflex kit, but luckily,
Yeah, I mean, that's got a little movement to it also, but not like that one did.
no. But luckily, you can still get
So they're like Johnny joints, it looks like.
all these parts. Yeah, they have like a,
Terraflex's version.
yeah.
Everybody's got a version of,
I think that one's good.
yeah.
The top one's definitely bad.
Yeah.
And then I wonder how bad the lowers are.
That'll, more than likely, that'll help you, like with the bumps and stuff, that like, just the like shakes and whatnot. The floatiness is going to be shocks and sway bars
Rear seat.
and a fuel tank skid.
Yeah, my fuel tank's about to fall out, so that's cool. You'll have that on those big jobs.
Is this just pulling down? Yeah, those have to get relocated.
But yeah, another cool thing about this today is we're testing out my camera setup again with the mics on us.
Yeah. Don't mind the blinky LEDs from AliExpress. I didn't
Oh,
put
it's
them in.
fine.
It's really annoying.
But yeah, I was talking to Nate about this thing last night, and it's like, man, this thing's got like $40,000 worth of parts on it here and there.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm going to sell it.
To replace it, yeah. If you
I'm
were
going
to
to
put
sell it
everything
for
new-
less than half of that, and then have to start all over, build something new.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of things that I can change on this thing to make it better, I think. Hopefully, maybe.
It's not even a bunch. Like I said, it's maintenance.
There's a bunch of things I want to change on the interior too, because different pack out mounts, and I have a 5-gallon air tank that I think I could get rid of. This is new. I did this when I got in my accident. This is still old. PSC steering box, pump,
Yeah, so you have
cooler.
the big bore kit and brace.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really see any reason to get rid of it, but you definitely need to do some
It needs
stuff.
updating for
I
sure.
Bet you if you talk to Curry, I bet you they have a new version of this that's stronger, because that's a really small diameter bar.
Right, that's what I thought too.
That might stiffen it up. Shocks, bump stops, sway bars, bushings, and I bet you this thing's would be good.
It would drive a lot better.
Yeah.
We need to see how much it travels.
Yeah, we can pull the shocks off and get the jack stands out.
Yeah, it sucks because it's been a great Jeep and I don't really want to get rid of it.
Yeah.
For some reason, Finn gave me ball joints for this thing. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to fully check them, but need it on the ground with a pry bar.
Yeah.
But I think all my U-joints are still good. The other thing about the Land Rover that I was still skeptical about is they are four-wheel drive all the time.
Mm-hmm. They're all-wheel drive with the center locking diff.
Right, but mine is an 03 and it doesn't have the center locking diff, so you need to change it to a different diff. And I really like the Jeep because it has locking hubs.
Yeah, it's real four-wheel drive.
It's real four-wheel drive. It's a manual linkage. There's no electronics. The
I
only
think
electronics on this thing are to tell you if it's in four-wheel drive or not.
The Rover would have been a perfect family
Well,
dirt road cruiser, even a rally, like some of the easy rallies.
I think it would make a good daily.
Oh, that too, yeah.
Like if I didn't do anything to it and just dailied it, it would be good.
Yeah.
But we got in it.
This is full travel.
Oh yeah. I guess it's just limited by
The shock.
the shock. Yeah.
Auto locker.
Auto locker. Yeah. It's a little noisy, but
This job done.
characteristic. Because it was funny. This had that super thick. It's either purple or green diff fluid.
The purple, like the royal purple stuff.
Maybe. It's like super crazy thick. And a local shop out of Winchester, not naming any names, rebuilt this diff before I had got it. And then I was getting some crazy pinion noise. So I tore it apart. And when you slide the carrier in with your shims, you're supposed to have the axle housing spread out a little bit to help slide everything in.
The 44s are, you can wedge them in there pretty easily.
Well, they've tried to wedge them in there, and they jammed a shim in behind one of the carrier bearings.
Between the
The carrier bearing and the housing.
Oh, okay.
Because remember when I went through rebuilding this?
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So then I rebuilt it. I did new bearings. Luckily, the gears weren't messed up. It just
I
had
forgot about that.
it had roached the pinion bearing. This was right before our first rally. I think it was like 2 weeks before the rally, and I'm rebuilding the rear end of this thing in the driveway. I had to borrow his pinion locking tool to torque the crush sleeve, and then I fucked up the first crush sleeve. So always buy 2 crush sleeves.
Or
be better at it.
The crush sleeve delete.
Yeah. But I rebuilt the diff and then swapped it out for just regular gear oil. And all of a sudden, I'm getting this clicking noise. And I'm like, what the? But the old thick oil had just quieted the auto locker. But the auto locker...
It also probably wasn't properly oiling your pinion bearing.
Right.
Details.
But the auto locker works great, especially paired with the air locker front. And that's the other issue I was running into wanting to build the Land Rover, is everything... I don't think cost was an issue, because for what I would be able to sell this for and build that, it was just
A wash.
tit for tat. It was a wash. But e-lockers for that are like $2,000.
Sounds about right. Those axles are notoriously a pain in the ass to work on.
They're very small, but they're based on a Toyota axle.
Yeah.
And then they're like, I think, an 8 3/4 ring gear, which is tiny.
Basically a 44.
Yeah. But air lockers were like $2,400, and then you could get a Detroit rear and True Track, and
Yeah.
it just, I didn't really want to do a bunch of locker work with having it full-time all-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, whatever you want to call it, because we all know how it is to drive around in four-wheel drive with your lockers engaged. It sucks. So having the air locker front on this thing is such a huge benefit. But it sucks because the previous owner put in a big fucking 5-gallon air tank, which is a little overkill. Mostly for the air horns.
Air tools on the trail.
I can run air tools, but I also have a 20-pound CO2 tank.
You got all the air.
I have all the air.
This thing's basically gonna float.
Right. So I want to change some things up on the interior. I'd mounted some pack-out mounts in there around the air tank, and it's kind of a bear to work with. I have a single pack-out mount right here, and then a double one like this. And I'd rather have the 3-bay pack-out mount that Milwaukee sells. I've noticed that when you get these plasma cut ones, I don't know if you have any or not.
We do, but we haven't really tried them yet.
But they're looser. The pack out fits looser in the mount than the Milwaukee branded pack out ones. Now the Milwaukee ones are huge compared to the cut ones, because the cut ones I have, it's just the footprint of the pack out, and then it has holes on the inside. The pack out one probably has an extra, I don't know, 2 or 3 inches on the rim that they mount down to the floor with. But I'd rather have that one in here because they're much tighter, and I'd be able to open everything a little bit easier. So I also put a pack out mount on the seat, which has proved to be super cool. I have my socket set on the back, and it still fits in between the air tank.
Yeah.
But if I rework all that, then it'd be a little bit different. So I don't know. I don't even know if I'd want to mount an air tank under here.
It would be in the way.
Yeah.
It would just get wrecked. And you could like relocate the.
Hey, that's why my gas cap light is on.
Yeah.
I wondered why.
Well, so you'll notice this is pulled tight.
Yeah.
You need to relocate them on the other side of that cross member. You can unhook them from here. And
underneath?
yeah, so that way because like right now they come over this cross member.
Yeah.
So if you can push them, that way they don't pull down on your filler neck and all your HVAC or evap hoses.
Yeah, I guess I need to fix that. I wonder how, I don't even know if I can.
No, that's
roached. I could probably glue it.
Yeah.
Because all it is the vent hose, and it just thinks my gas cap's off all
So
the time.
what I've done with those is you get the little plastic vacuum connectors, drill it out, and then you epoxy the vacuum connector into the rollover valve, and then you just
plug this side.
No,
because where's the sensor pickup at?
So your evap canister has a vacuum pump built into it.
Because I've replaced that and trying to fix that, but
right, but so it pulls a vacuum. So right now it wouldn't be able to pull a vacuum because the system's not sealed up.
So it's pulling a vacuum on the tank, and I just
it's pulling it on both sides. It's the whole system. So like
yeah.
And I actually got a sensor right here on this. I guess the 3/8 are a little different, but basically you can just reattach this nipple by like drilling it out and sleeving it with like a little plastic vacuum connector and some epoxy. And then you can just reconnect the hose.
I'll have to do that.
Because the other option is replace the whole tank.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, the tanks are ridiculously expensive.
I definitely need to address
you gotta get the skid taken care of.
Skid plate issue.
Yeah. Yeah, that's no bueno.
Awesome.
Well, the good news is we know what your down travel is for the rear.
Yeah, it's 100% limited. I don't want to go any further than that.
Yeah.
I'd prefer it actually to be probably up
an inch.
Yeah.
Wouldn't
we all? Wouldn't we all?
Yeah. Everybody could benefit from an extra inch.
I wonder if so I have my compressors mounted in here currently.
Yeah.
In that little cubby hole.
Yeah.
But I wonder if I flattened that and then put a small tank here and remounted the compressor somewhere.
You don't need the tank.
You're right. I don't need
it. If all it's running is the air locker,
yeah.
You don't need the tank.
I thought about that too, is upgrading to one of those little ARB kits. Mm-hmm. And because these are both, they're
Viairs.
They're just Viairs, two 444s.
You want to be real fancy, you can get one of the new brushless ARB twins.
Oh my God, they're so loud too.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The brushless, it's $1,000, but it's quiet and it moves like 12 CFM.
Well, if anyone wants to buy a 5-pound air tank setup and train horns, the train horns are cool, but I have a lot of stuff in here that is redundant.
No.
That's the one thing that has been a problem with this Jeep, is there were so many mods done to it that were so redundant and overkill and ridiculous. Another local shop.
Not us.
Not them.
Not us.
They had another issue I have is this rear glass doesn't have the thing,
the seal
that latches in between the tailgate. So when you got to close the glass on these first and then shut the tailgate. I actually think that whole bottom piece might be replaceable. We'll have to look at it.
I'm wondering if it's like a kit that somebody designed to be able to do that.
No, so they just cut it off. I'll have to show you in comparison to another one.
Yeah,
but
right there.
they took the top off, and this guy ran around with the top off all the time. He had a bikini top on it, and they built this security box on top of the deck.
Right, forgot about
But it was welded in 100%. I don't know if you can see, there's plasma cut holes right there from where they had welded in everything in. And I had to go through and cut it all out. And it was like the first thing that I did to this thing. And it made it so much more usable. It wasn't even like a hinge system or nothing. It was just like this piece of diamond plate
just welded
into the body. And it was such a pain.
You know, the funny thing is, because like this build's probably, what, 15 years old at this point?
The receipt I have on the Curry front is like 2013.
So it's 13 years old.
Yeah.
So like 13 years ago, there probably wasn't a security deck available for a 4-door JK.
Especially in 2007.
Yeah, now you can get like 18 different versions of that for $500.
Yeah. The other thing I want to do is, since I have the power tank, it's mounted up here on the roll bar, and it's kind of a bitch to get in and out with the top on.
Yeah.
I'd prefer to get rid of the air tank, the compressor setup, remount it, and then have a cargo shelf thing.
Yeah.
That mounts to the
Motor build
roll
is
bar.
really nice.
Yeah.
Not an ad. I have it. I love it.
Not
Also an
sponsored
ad.
yet. So, and then the other thing with this thing is it's so loud driving. And I know it's a Jeep, and I know I'm a bitch, but it's so loud. It has like rhino lined flooring, and it's so loud. Me and Kelly went on a hot date to the scrapyard yesterday, and we were driving on Route 9 at 75 mile an hour, and it's like, what?
Yeah.
Did you say something? And it's unbearable. So getting the Land Rover has kind of opened my eyes on trying to make this thing more comfortable, which is also dumb because it's just a Jeep, but we can all have hopes and dreams.
It can be done.
Just money and time.
Mostly the money part.
Wonder how long we've been recording for. 22 minutes. I'm not trying to make these videos super long.
Yeah.
Because I know it's tough for people to sit and watch and listen, and
Yeah, no, it's.
I have a terrible.
I had that conversation with Tim yesterday. Anyway, yeah, we can. The rear will be easy because we can just pull these springs out now.
Yeah.
And start setting it back down to set it on the bump stops.
Yeah. So we're gonna do a couple of things. I don't have much time today. We're going to Dino Land, so got about an hour and a half.
My tape measure.
But I wanted to come down here and hang out with Tom and let me use his lift, which is cool. A little bit different than what we were planning on doing, but hey, it's all right. So I don't know if I'll record it anymore. I'm definitely going to try and use my meta glasses a little bit and record some things and see what all we can find, down travel and up travel, and what kind of shocks I need to order and how much money I'm going to spend.
I'm gonna borrow PJ's because I don't know where mine is.
I told him I was coming down here.
He said he didn't know what his birthday weekend plans were.
When's his birthday?
Tomorrow.
Oh.
He literally was like, I'm pretty sure my birthday is Sunday, so I probably have plans. And I'm
Pretty
like,
sure my birthday is Sunday.
PJ.
PJ. What are you doing?
Also, it's your birthday. You make the plans.
I know, everyone's always like, what do you want to do for your birthday? And I'm like, I don't know, what do you want to do for my birthday?
Good Lord.
They're long.
It's a 32-inch shock. That is crazy.
When this thing's sitting on the ground, there's like that much available down travel in the shock.
12 inches.
When we do these rallies, this thing bottoms out like crazy.
Well, that's good. All right, so just for perspective, your shock, full bottom of your shock is 12 inches. You are 10 inches from your bump stop. So they're not too long, but I think they're too long because I think you would get more up travel if you had less bump stop.
Right, and it
And we
would.
can,
I think it would. Also, too, when you take a lot of these,
although with the angle, these things
when
are
you have a
gonna eat up
shock
more.
and it's this long, and you're riding at it this long all the time,
Yeah.
it's not going to be at its full rideability, valving, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, because so like, I mean, I don't know how Fox sets the 2.0s up, but
Yeah, I
like,
was told these shocks were set up for this Jeep, but I don't know.
well, and set up in the fact that like,
They measured and then they ordered.
yeah, and like they're relocated, so like, yeah, it is. I would say they are the right length. I would set them up differently
Yeah, I would too.
because like,
And I'm not even a professional.
Yeah.
You're a professional.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, it's like you want 60% of your travel to be down and 40 up.
Yeah.
So if you have 10 inches of travel, which is what your bump stops are set for, you want to be able to travel down 6 inches and up 4. At ride height, you have like 2 with 8 down. There's a time and a place for that, but for the road
stuff,
and the rally, and
for the way that we've been moving our off-road lifestyle, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Doing these rallies, and they've only been around for a couple years. And
I mean, I would say the other half of the problem is that's without weight in the rear. Once you're loaded up and you have somebody sitting in the back seat, you probably have an inch of up travel.
Yeah, I've got a ton of weight in the rear too. Right now, most of my pack out tools, the tire carrier, but I love the tire carrier.
I know, but the best thing I did was take the tire off the back. These handle so much better without this hanging off the bumper.
But it looks so good.
I think they look better without.
I also am terrified about not having a spare tire.
I keep it in the back. Move the weight over the springs, and it just handles that much better.
Yeah, but then I lose out all my room in my back.
That's what the cargo shelf is for. My 37 is right under the cargo shelf, and then everything's on top.
Maybe.
You haven't seen it since I put the cargo shelf in it.
No, I didn't even know you had it, honestly.
Yeah.
And the good thing about this is these are just bolted on.
Yeah.
So I could potentially remove it. I'd have to rework my jerry can mount, maybe get a new setup there.
Yeah, but they make them where you can like mount them to the door now.
Yeah. And I've considered, so this is a very old jerry can. Kelly bought it for me with my Fummins.
Jesus.
And it's lived through a couple vehicles now. It was mounted on the trailer for a little bit.
Is there fuel in that?
Yeah. It's from the rally. I'm going to put it in my lawnmower.
It's a pretty rusty can.
Yeah. So the can is severely rusted out. And I love the tire carrier, but it is a valid point that it's going to cause a lot more drivability issues. So I got a lot of work to do to make this thing a little bit more comfortable.
It's honestly, it's not that bad. Ow, there's a lift there.
Yeah, watch out for that. They'll come out at you.
They're new. Yeah, I think it would be pretty easy to.
I bet I could probably sell that tire carrier for a pretty penny too.
Yeah, if you clean it up.
Clean it up, paint it.
Somebody will buy it.
Want to buy it?
No.
Dang it. It's funny, when I bought this Jeep, Finn was like, I wanted Chaos to weld these on. They didn't. And I'm kind of like, well, maybe that's a good thing they didn't weld them on.
Yeah. No,
because I've had my thoughts about it before. I'm like, man, it looks so good, but it is a lot of weight.
Yeah.
This far off the suspension.
Yeah, when we were in Moab and the bumper fell off of mine.
Yeah.
We took it off and left it at the Airbnb, and I was like, wow, this is so much better to wheel.
I've actually never driven around with it off, so
You don't have to drive mine. Because at this point, we have basically the same setup.
Yeah.
Only I'm not long-armed.
Are you 37s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I have no sway bars front or rear because my sway bar kept falling out of the straps at Good Evening Ranch and like getting caught and shit. So I just took the sway bar off and threw it in the truck, and I haven't put it back on.
So I've seen to where too, well, people will put an extra part of those nubs or whatever you want to call it, and they'll put them somewhere on the frame.
Oh yeah.
To where they can take the sway bar
and
and lock it into the frame and then put the pin back in.
Yeah. The problem, I haven't like put the effort into it because I am going to go long arm and change the whole thing.
Yeah, and you want to do bigger axles.
Yeah, so
I'm content with my axles, which is it's fine. It's still a Dana 44 rear, but
I think if you swap the rear axle, shocks, get your new bushings put in, this will be a whole new Jeep.
Yeah, I really want to build a 4.9-inch for it. Because these wheels are 5x5.5. I don't necessarily like these wheels, but they work. They already have monster valves in them, which is cool. They're the old version, and they just are the thread-in ones. Yeah. I think it's just like an MPT style thread. Yeah. But they don't leak. They work. They're great. You can air down super quick, air up super fast. And that's kind of the one thing about having the CO2 tank is I've only used it like twice because I have the air system. And it's like, it's just one of those things that's kind of redundant. And it's like, do I really need this? Do I really need that? So, been doing a lot of reflection lately. So, still didn't say it right.
You got options.
I got options.
Good to have options.
Yeah, then I get overwhelmed and I hate myself and I want to sell it all. Don't you?
I mean, no, I just buy more stuff.
See,
I don't sell anything.
I can't buy more stuff.
I mean, you can.
Yeah, and
You have free will.
Yeah, I also have a wife.
So do I.
It's funny. I feel like our wives are very similar in their ways with us.
You mean the level of patience they have?
Yes, because I was talking to George the other day, and Kelly was standing right there, and he's like, I don't know how you let him get away with it. She's like, he's going to do whatever he wants no matter what. I can't stop him. He was like, yeah, you can. She's like, no, I can't.
Yeah, it's fair.
Because he was giving me a bunch of shit about the Land Rover deal. He's like, the Jeep's gay, but the Land Rover's dandy. I was like, well, which one's worse? He's like, they're both worse.
You can never turn down a free car. Even my wife will agree with that. Because I did the same thing. Was it through you? Somebody called me and was like, hey, my buddy's friend has no, it wasn't you. Their aunt or uncle or whatever had like a half blown up 5 Series. And they were like, they just need it.
You told me about that one.
Yeah, they just need it gone. Do you want it? And I was like, yeah, I'll go look at it. So I hooked the trailer up, drove out. It was out in like Stephen City. Went and looked at it, and it needed turbos. And I looked it up, and like the full turbo kit on Rock Auto was like $900. And I was like, done. And I winched the thing on the trailer, and I drove it home, and I put it in my driveway. And then I looked at what it takes to put turbos in a 08 535. And I was like, I am not tying a lift up for 4 days at the shop just to do these turbos.
Yeah.
So I sold it for $500 with blown up turbos.
That was kind of the Land Rover deal. Is I was a little skeptical going into it. I got it. I'm like, man, this thing's good. And then I'm looking at it and weighing the options, and I think it would be cooler than the Jeep as far as like an off-road rig goes. But it would take so much more to get there. And that's the sucky part. Yeah. Is we're both fathers. We both have families. He runs a full business.
Don't remind me.
Which is crazy.
Don't remind me.
So both of us have too many things going on too.
Yeah. No, you're gonna get more out of this.
Right, and that's the thing too. Is I was talking to PJ last night, and I'm like, man, I really want to do the Multimate Adventure.
Yeah.
And the Land Rover, I don't think would be suitable for that.
The argument I've always had with people in like the Toyota and like the Bronco realm and the IFS realm is, I will trade comfort for strength and reliability. And like the amount of money that you have to put into an IFS to make it as strong and capable as a front solid axle.
Or just something that you can slam bigger tires on.
Right. It is the same amount of money as it takes to make these comfortable and fast.
Right.
And like, if I'm off-roading, I don't really care about comfortable and fast. I want it to not break.
Right.
And leave me stranded. And that is the benefit.
Yeah,
of
so like
Jeep.
this thing, we've got big strong axle, 37s, air locker, auto locker, all this stuff. It's up here on drivability and reliability. It's about here on comfort right now. It'll get better. Yeah. And then you've got a Land Rover that's up here on comfort, but it's on 33s and weak axles and small parts. And
the argument I'll always make is, you're driving across the country in Kansas or in Arkansas. What do you think you're more likely to find? A wheel bearing for this?
Well, actually, we'll have to go to Curry to get a wheel bearing for this.
Generally speaking. Spark plugs for this or spark plugs for your Land Rover?
If in a pinch, we could slam a Super Duty unit bearing on this.
Yeah.
Because it is a F350 unit bearing.
Your bolt pattern's just off at that point.
We would just have to drill and install studs.
There's got to be an easier way to fix that. Isn't it just change the knuckles and?
No, the knuckles are F450. The reason that this.
So you can just put an 8-lug unit bearing.
Yes.
In it.
But
then you have to buy wheels.
This system works. The way Curry did it is they take the bearing apart and they put a JK tone ring inside.
Oh. Okay. So
this isn't
it's
just
also solving the ABS problem.
Yes. So, and it's also drilled for 35 spline shafts.
Yeah.
Because your stock off the shelf Dana 60 unit bearing is not
35.
It's only 30 or
32.
32.
I think it's 32.
So
I could be wrong.
they were
Forget.
$550, but I need to look at these. So
Are they rebuildable?
they are not. You can take them apart, but I didn't have good luck with it.
Yeah, that'll happen.
I don't think I'm gonna be able to see it, but there's a 3D printed part I can make that you take out the ABS sensor and then grease it.
Your seal's falling apart on this side.
See that? So is this one. Fine.
For what? For the ABS
Yeah,
sensor?
you take the ABS sensor out and then you bolt in a 3D printed part with a nub on it.
To be your tone ring?
No, you just grease it. And apparently it greases the bearing.
Oh, so it's like basically making a Zerk for it.
Yeah, I think Barnes has it.
Sure.
I haven't found the file, but it's only like $12 from them. So, but yeah.
Interesting.
All right. Well, my body mount. Eee. How's that one?
It's fine.
Look at this one. They're a little torn.
Oh, you're good.
That's fine.
That's just the grill shell.
All right.
You don't really need that.
I think we'll call it there. Probably talk for too long. But,
Before we find more things to put on the internet that you'll fail inspection for.
what do you mean inspection? All right. Thanks for watching. This was episode 2, I guess, of the Co-Drivers with Tom. Focus. There we go. Bye.